Welcome, 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 welcome to Lunch and Learn number 3. Got some nice little music playing in the background there. Is that 1978? That's Shalimar? Not 78. Shalimar is probably like 85, 86. But anyway, welcome to Lunch and Learn number 3 with your boy Doug Stewart, where we talk about life insurance and all the different facets of life insurance. Not only do I host a dynamic show called the Two Live Stews with me and my brother Ryan Stewart. We talk about sports, guy stuff, and pop culture and hip hop culture. But I also do and am in the financial services industry. All right, so we're talking life insurance, retirement planning, investing. I literally do it all. Okay. And so until the Two Live Stews pops off like 2002, until it pops off like 2002, I still do that on a daily basis. All right. So this is our third edition of Lunch and Learn. First edition, the first show we did and talked about term life insurance and whole life insurance. The second one we did and talked about the $1 million baby concept. So I'm urging you to go back and check those out because they were fire. I mean, I must admit, I give myself a pat on the back. They were fire. All right. So term, just talked about term, which is life insurance for a certain term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And whole life is for your whole life. Okay. And then the second edition, Lunch and Learn number 2, was about the $1 million baby concept, where in a nutshell, you get life insurance on a child, a newborn, and by the time that child retires, there's a substantial amount of money in that life insurance policy that he can pull out and do with, they can pull out and do with whatever they want, tax free. All right. So go back and check out. I don't want to give you all the details because you won't go back and watch it, but go back and watch Lunch and Learn number 1, term and whole life insurance, where I break it down. That's the number one question most people have. What's the difference between the two? And then the second one was the $1 million baby concept, just straight fire. Okay. So today, real briefly, and this shouldn't take no more than 15, 20 minutes or so, if that, we're going to talk about final expense insurance. You may have heard that term before. And in a nutshell, final expense insurance, also known as burial insurance, is a type of life insurance that covers end-of-life costs. It can be used for funeral arrangements, medical bills, legal fees, and more. How it works: final expense insurance is a permanent policy that pays out a death benefit to your beneficiaries when you die. It's designed to cover small to moderate costs, typically between $2,000 and $50,000. So let me back up how it works. Final expense insurance is a permanent policy. It's whole life insurance. It's not term insurance because it wouldn't be final expense insurance if it wasn't for your whole life. Okay, so it pays a death benefit to your beneficiaries when you die. Okay, so if you're the insured and you're getting this policy, the beneficiary is going to be someone that you leave the money to that's going to be responsible for your final expenses. When we say final expenses, for the most part, we're talking about your funeral. Y'all got that, right? Okay. It's designed to cover small to moderate costs, typically between $2,000 and $50,000. Let's stop right there. Most insurance or most funerals in this country, in the US of A, average around $10,000. Okay. You can really freak it. You can really, and I guess I shouldn't laugh when we're talking about funerals, but you can really turn it into a big extravaganza event, anything more than $10,000. All right. So as they say in this little clip I'm showing you right now, $2,000 to $50,000. I know after being in this business for so many years, the average cost of a funeral is right around $10,000. So this would be plenty enough. It's usually more affordable than traditional life insurance policies, okay? And it's often easier to qualify for than other types of life insurance. What it covers: funeral costs, medical bills, legal fees, hospice care, cremation costs, memorial services, reception costs, and in-home care. So this is big, all right? When we're talking about final expense, we're not just talking about a funeral. It could just be talking about a funeral, but it also, depending on how much you get, and I'm going to show you an example here, but depending on how much you get, it could cover medical bills, legal fees, hospice care, cremation costs, memorial services, reception costs, and in-home care as well. Okay. It kind of acts in a manner kind of like long-term care, and I've spoken about long-term care before. Long-term care are for items that you need when you're still living, but you can't do 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. I'm not going to get in a long conversation about that. So when you can't dress yourself, get in and out of the bed, use the bathroom by yourself, feed yourself, long-term care kicks in. So the fees, the cost for long-term care could be paid with the final expense money that you get from one of these policies. Okay. So bottom line, before I get to the next slide and show you an actual illustration, long-term or final expense insurance is basically a whole life insurance policy for your final expenses. If you're the insured, if you're buying the policy, then the beneficiary is going to be the person in charge of your final expenses. You can also be the owner of the policy. So if you're a child of a parent, or if you're a person that's going to take care of the final expenses of your parents, or you're going to take care of the final expenses of your grandparents, you can get the policy, you can initiate the policy, you be the owner of the policy, and the parent or the grandparent is the insured. Okay, so they'll be the one that have to go and fill out a questionnaire and do get blood drawn, do a quick little physical. So there could be owner and insured, and it could be insured only. Okay, and the insured would make the beneficiary the person in charge of their final expenses. All right, so here's a quick example. This is something that I did, literally 5 minutes. First name I put final, last name expense, but it would be whoever the insured is in this space. In this particular case, we're talking about a male. The issue age of this male is 70. Okay. There's nothing else on here really pertinent to the insured getting policy. This is kind of like stuff for the agent. So to specified age, don't worry about that. Non-tobacco, this person doesn't smoke, which is a huge deduction. If you did smoke, it would be considerably higher. Okay. So that's page 1. Okay. So here goes. I'm going to show this page first. There we go. So that 70-year-old didn't smoke, in pretty good condition. Okay. And I forgot to, hold on. I do have it. Yes, I do have it. So this is a $25,000 policy. What did I say a couple of minutes ago? The average cost of a funeral is around $10,000. Okay. Up to $50,000 as that screen pic that we saw talked about. Okay. So this is a $25,000 whole life policy. The initial base premium is $174. This is a continuous policy amount, so the premium does not change. And you'll see that here in a second when I show you the last illustration. Okay. So $50,000 or $25,000, premium doesn't change. The premium is $174.26. Okay. That's the final results. Now, here's the last slide. It's right here. You can see the year that they've had the policy, the age of the person. Remember, this is a 70-year-old. At the end of the first year, they're going to be 71, et cetera, all the way down. They're paying $2,091 per year. The owner of the policy or whoever's paying for the policy. Remember, the premium is $174.26. So In effect, that's 174.26 times 12 months in a year. This is the premium that they're paying every year, 2091. Okay? Here's the cumulative net outlay. This is how much you paid cumulatively. At the end of 5 years, you paid $10,456. Okay? Here's where it starts to get juicy. Cash value, whole life insurance increases in value over time. Okay? Cash value at the end of year 5 is $4,903. If you're the owner of the policy, if you have access to this policy, you're the owner or you're the insured, and the insured took the policy out on themselves. At the end of 5 years, this guaranteed $4,903 in this policy, kind of tying back into the first video I did talking about whole life insurance, that you can take out and do with whatever you want tax-free. Any other investment, okay, outside of municipal bonds and Roth IRAs and right here, whole life insurance, any other investment, you're going to pay taxes, whatever your tax rate is, on the gain, on the increase of value of that said investment. So real estate, stocks, bonds that aren't municipal bonds, mutual funds, whatever the case may be, you're going to pay whatever taxes, but not in whole life insurance. And if you look, that continues all the way down. If this person that got the policy at age 70 reaches age 90, and age 90, there's $35,768 in this policy that they can do with whatever they want. Now, that does reduce the value of the death benefit, but that's an option. You have some flexibility in this type of policy. Let's look at the last column. Remember, the policy was initially $25,000, okay? At the bottom down here, after 20 years, say the insured lived another 20 years and they're 90 years old now, that policy has increased in size. The death benefit has increased in size from $25,000 at the top right, and I don't think you can see my cursor. So at the top right, $25,000, and at the bottom, it's increased after 20 years all the way to $47,050. Okay? So it's very simple. Whenever you hear someone talk about final expense, they're talking about a whole life policy. And what it is it's a way to make sure that you aren't caught up in a jam. You know, a lot of people don't have $10,000 laying around. A lot of people do. Some people do. A lot of people do. But a ton of people don't have 10 grand laying around to bury their loved one. It's already a tenuous situation because someone that you love passed away. You don't want to be in a position where you have to figure out how to set up a GoFundMe. You don't. You don't want to be in a position where you can't give a respectable burial to this person that took care of you, presumably, if we're talking your parents and your grandparents, for your entire life. You don't want to, in effect, disrespect them and not be prepared. And I'm talking about people that know that it's on them. You know that when your parent passes away, you're going to be responsible for handling the final expenses. You know, you may have been raised by your grandmother. You know that when your grandmother passes away, you're going to be responsible, and you don't want to be the dude that everybody in town talking about. And it's in relative terms, I showed you numbers for $25,000, and it's $170 per month. We can do policies as low. I have some carriers that I work with in a brokerage standpoint that'll go as low as $10,000. So if it's $174 for $25,000 in coverage, it's going to be considerably less if you just did $10,000. Okay, you can do more than $25,000. It's going to be more. Okay, but pretty much everything is concurrent with more coverage or less coverage. Okay, so very simple concept to understand. Bottom line is, we see this all the time on Facebook and in our community. So-and-so can't have a funeral. So-and-so asking for money. Oh, so-and-so needs you to give her a couple of money to put mama in the ground. Oh, boy, wow. Why didn't this guy, mama might not have the money. You know, that's the ideal situation that mama or granddaddy prepared for their their final expenses and left you some money to do it. But a lot of times people die and they don't have anything. They don't have any wealth where they can leave someone $10,000 part or $20,000 and 10 of it should go towards my funeral. It is what it is. Yeah, that's wrong, technically, leaving you with the responsibility to figure it out and find some money to bury this loved one. But it is what it is, okay? So real simple. Told you it was going to be short today. If you are interested in life insurance, any kind of life insurance, term, whole life, if you are interested in getting a final expense policy, a whole life, and show the returns that I just talked about in the last 15 minutes or so, reach out to me, okay? I can help you. If you call me today, you will be covered by the end of the day, okay? If you want to call today and get covered today, you call me at 678-770-8073. That's 678-770-8073. Or you can email me directly at Doug Stewart, or I'm sorry, sme.dougstewart@gmail.com, and just put in the subject line life insurance or final expense policy, and then leave your phone number. I will reach back out to you and get you covered that day, literally that day. Okay, so once again, you can give me a call, 678-770-8073, or you can email me, sme.dougstewart@gmail.com. You see it on the bottom of the screen right there. And I would love to be your agent. If you're not in need of a life insurance policy, but you know somebody that does, or you know somebody that should need to talk to me, okay? Maybe you can call your parent and say, hey, listen, I didn't really think about it before, but this is real life. And if something were to happen to you, you need to have a life insurance policy. Do you have a life insurance policy? Talking to their mother or father. No, you know what? I never got around to it, or whatever the case. Oh, so you was going to stick me with it to figure it out. you were going to stick me with the responsibility, and I had to figure it out. No, you need to call Doug Stewart, 678-770-8073. That's another number, Tree. I know it. That's fine, Tree. That number works as well, but I'd rather people to call 678-770-8073. And once again, very easy process. I'll take 15 minutes worth of information. I'll write you up an application. I'll email you the application. You'll sign the application through DocuSign, which literally takes you, 15 seconds. At the point you sign, you're covered. A lot of companies, you aren't covered until the policy goes through underwriting completely. In this case, you're covered. And if you can't, and if you aren't approved after it goes through underwriting, your money will be returned to you. Doug, do you write policies in North Carolina? Absolutely. So I'm licensed in about 10 states, but if you are in one of the states that I'm not licensed in, congratulations, you'll be my first client. But I'll get a license in that state, and that process takes 2 days. Okay, so I don't care if you in New Mexico or Iowa or South Dakota. You call me today. I get the license for your state in 2 days, and then we can write the policy on you, and you'll have somebody that you can trust and you can talk to about sports. All right? All right? So hit me up, sme.dougstewart@gmail.com, sme.dougstewart@gmail.com, or give me a call at 678-770-8073. Pass my information along. I appreciate the referrals. I'd love to be your agent. All right? So don't forget, check us out this coming Thursday, the 2 Live Stews, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you a lot. Appreciate it. Peace.